I'm David Belcourt. I spend a lot of time in the Gilded Age mansion. The house is called Belcourt. It's off the famous Bellevue Avenue in Newport, Rhode Island. Built for a divorced bachelor in 1895, it has been recently restored and has a fascinating history. Welcome back to Belcourt, everyone. My name is David. I spend a lot of time in the Gilded Age mansion, and I bet you're wondering why, and also perhaps how. It all starts in 2011. I am coming off the production of my fourth feature documentary. So I made a documentary about an amusement park.
We've got amusement park fun in the Rhode Island sun. Come on down to Rocky Point.
I made a documentary about tuberculosis.
A disease that no one understands has reached epidemic proportions.
I made a documentary about a rich old lady that lives in a mansion down the street.
Eileen Slocum was the queen of the Republican Party.
And I made a movie called It's a Bash, which is about my favorite Providence punk rock band, Neutral Nation. I was kind of looking for something that would pay me a little bit more often, to be honest, and maybe some bennies, some benefits. So I was courted by this ad agency called Media Appeal. The Media Appeal was out of Lincoln, Rhode Island, and it was one of the Gemma brothers. So their studio and their editing suites was actually attached to the Gemma brothers' business,
Okay.
which is plumbing.
Oh, who are the Gemma brothers? Are they like
Gem
Gem
Plumbing.
Oh, Gem Plumbing. Okay,
Yeah.
yes.
So on the other side of the building was Gem Plumbing.
Great.
And then on this side was Media Appeal. They wanted to land this new client on the scene, this up-and-coming jewelry brand.
Alex and Ani.
Alex and Ani.
Alex.
Alex.
Ani.
Alex and Ani.
Alex and Ani.
Alex and Ani.
Alex and Ani is positive energy. Alex and Ani is personal. Radiates beauty.
Alex and Ani is powerful.
Is peace.
Made in America.
Alex and Ani is love. Love.
Alex and Ani had $5 million of business in 2010. Then Carolyn Rafaelian, the founder of the company, she hired Giovanni Ferrosi, and his goal was to turn it into something crazy. And it went off and did crazy things. It went to $200 million by 2012, and a lot of it was video marketing.
Where we are made in America with pride, with peace, with positive energy. Alex and Ani.
So the plan was we need a lot of video. So we need a video team. Media Appeal hires an editor, my friend Katie Roach.
Katie Roach.
And me to become this video team to start doing all this video content for Alex and Ani.
And at this point, what's your background in videography?
Well, so I graduated in 2001 from Boston University.
It's the year I was born.
Nice.
Yeah.
I graduated from grad school the year you were born with an MFA in film. So I did wedding videos for a long time, and then my 4 feature documentaries,
Right.
and now I'm being poached by Media Appeal. So
Sweet.
I come into my very first shoot was shooting an HR video for Alex and Ani, like a welcome video to the company because they were hiring like crazy.
Soldier, a warrior for Alex and Ani, and I give you all the love and empowerment to do some amazing things for yourself and for the company.
Fast forward a little bit. So I start working for Carolyn. I'm doing all this video for Alex and Ani, and then one day the brand new headquarters is finished. November 2012, I get this email to show up with video cameras in the conference room. Carolyn bought a house. So I go to this room. I get there early. I set up a tripod, a camera. I have another camera for stills. And I notice that there's a gaggle of lawyers. And then there is this older woman with glasses. And she's sitting there waiting patiently. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So I start rolling. And then Carolyn comes in. And she's like...
Yes! It's my little girl!
Walks over to this woman and they hug. And then later I find out that it's Harley Tinney.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, if you've been listening to our podcast, you know we've interviewed Harley twice already. So Harley sold the house to Carolyn about $3.5 million, if I'm not mistaken, including the collection of items in the house. Mm-hmm. And, they signed some paperwork. And then Carolyn says this.
Everybody's asking me, what am I going to do with it? What am I going to do with it? Are you going to live there? And I just said, I'm going to share it.
Well, that's a nice thing.
And that's what she says. She says she's going to share it. And that's what sends me on this road to where I am today. November 16th, 2012, I'm sent to Belcourt for the first time.
657 Bellevue.
And here I roll in. First thing I notice is I pull up to the main gate, and the main gate is in horrible shape. It's got like this wreath on it that I think was left from last Christmas. Mm. And it's the gate itself has got a big T at the top for Tinny and a whole bunch of I don't really know what to call it. I guess it would be like gold.
Like the gold leaf?
Like chunks of it that they attached to the iron.
Gold, like gilded,
Yeah, but I guess that's what it is, but it's it's got these little
too thick
metal ties that tie it to the.
Oh, okay.
So it's almost like a gold leaf, and it goes all the way up. It's real tall, but the gate, I can't get the gate open. I noticed on it says Belcourt Castle. Mm-hmm. I'm like, whatever. So we drove around, come in the Lakeview entrance. I think you saw some of the pictures of the exterior.
Yeah.
The exterior it had a walkway that led up to the house and was on both sides these shrubs. Mm-hmm. And then you came into the courtyard, and the courtyard was in pretty rough shape. The courtyard back in the day, if you look at pictures from the 50s and 60s, the courtyard was epic.
Yeah, it was super cool, like an oasis.
Almost like a maze of plants and trees and shrubs. Very cool.
Green.
But at this stage, it was not that. Mm-hmm. So someone had put over the entire lawn of the courtyard these rough pavers, and then you could tell that water was rushing into the library. So I walk in, it's the courtyard is cool, but it's really run down.
Right.
And then you walk into the main building, and it's night and day to the way we have it today. Mm-hmm. I mean, the former coach house was just filled with just chairs and tables and hutches and columns. And it was dark. I remember it being really dark. And that room can get pretty dark now.
Right.
With those windows open and clear.
Yeah.
But then they were filled with these stained glass windows of saints. Mm-hmm. And I remember it being wet, kind of damp, musty. Mm. I remember it smelling a lot like my grandmother's basement in Johnston back in the day.
Ooh.
Just everything smelled like wet books, kind of. Yeah. And I remember thinking why did Carolyn Rafaelian just drop $3.5 million in this house?
Right.
Because instantly, you just start to think what's it going to take to get this house even just watertight?
More than $3 million.
Yeah. So, and I do a tour of the house. I had no idea what I was looking at. I did not know about Belcourt at all before I moved into I didn't even research it in those 4 days. I just went, it was whatever.
Yeah, just
It was
Newport
part of
Mansion.
my job.
Right.
I knew about the Breakers, about Marble House,
Right.
and I grew up in Rhode Island, so I've toured those houses as a kid. But Belcourt was never on my radar. I had no idea what was happening. So, I walk around. I come upstairs to the second floor. It's more of the same. I remember the silk wall covering, which we've had recreated, but it's still not up.
No.
But I remember that, setting up some equipment, and I kind of leaned up against it, and I remember my back getting all wet. It was not in a good place. So, I just kind of shot some video. I shot some photos. I can show you some. And then, I don't know, I just left. I came back in December, and that's really when the house started to get emptied, and then the main restoration plan started to come into fruition. The first thing that we had to do is fix the roof. So the roof all of the compromised Pennsylvania slate had to come down, and all new Pennsylvania slate had to come and be put in. So a roofing company began, but we started to empty the house, and I started to document. And that's really how I got into a Gilded Age mansion.